a woman's promiscuity level drives the sexual marketplace. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, I've broached this subject before, but I want to say it again with a little bit more anecdotal experience or a little bit more conversationalist. I had some formulas that might have been a little bit too technical for people, but I'm going to show those again. But I also wanted to say that, one of the things that we have trouble with is men understanding that we don't control everything. And the notion that we don't control anything is wrong too. But when it comes to the sexual marketplace, women are in absolute control of that. But they don't understand it but the problem with women is that they don't understand how to wield power without having their emotions mixed up to it. And because they don't like accountability pointed at them, they don't want to take full responsibility for the fucking damage that they've wrought. Right? So let's just start from the basics. In the basics, I'm going to tell you again that women absolutely control the sexual marketplace, and men, we play in it. Some of us playing it well, and some of us playing it average, and some of us playing it poorly, and some men haven't figured out how to play in it. And let me also try to tell you this. One of the things that um, a lot of guys don't catch on, and then you catch on it from the Pop the Balloon show and other places, but I like to go to the Pop the Balloon show because there's times when you'll hear a woman look at a guy who would otherwise be handsome, otherwise be tall, otherwise look like he has all the factors that these honeys always talk about. He's got to be 6 feet, he's got to have this, he's got to have a great job, he's got to have something going for him, a great business, something going for him. And then you'll see a woman pop a balloon or several women pop a balloon in the sky. And the very first thing she'll say is, I like what you had to say, but I don't feel that initial attraction. And so I say, and they'll gloss right over that. They'll go to the next woman or the next woman. But a lot of people need to go back and analyze what a woman is saying when she says, I don't feel that attraction. That's a euphemism for saying that she can't see that guy banging her ass out. She can't see herself submitting to him sexually and being attracted to it. Right? So this has some extensions, right? Because because on the flip side of that, the guy that she looks at, that's when the guys say, a woman knows that she's going to give you some butt in the first 5 minutes or the first time she sees you, it's true. And you know what? Women don't deny that. You could be on 100 panels and you don't never hardly see any woman stand up and say, that shit ain't true. That's another one of you men lying. They pretty much, they either nod their head in agreement or they don't say anything at all. Check that out from now on. Because women know that shit's true. Right? They know it's true, but they ain't going to just admit it to you because they don't want you to be right. But here's the problem. Okay, so let's just continue with this thing. So when they see a guy and they're attracted to him, I can tell you this is what happens. That guy doesn't always get pussy. You know why? Because he talks himself out of it. There's more men, I wish we could do a study on it, but most men who can get laid, they talk themselves out of pussy all the time. They'll say something to blow the bubble. They'll say something to blow it all up. It doesn't take much for that sexual balloon on top of the woman's head to pop. It really doesn't. Not for some guys. For some guys, they get the balloon is thicker than others. I'll get you that. But sometimes it's a thin fucking balloon. So this woman wants to give you some ass, okay? And of course you're an ignorant asshole. You don't realize that you're already in there. And all you got to do is just do a couple of right steps and you're going to get this ass. Now, she might ask you a question or she might make a gesture or she might do something. and you sit down with her. Maybe you're going to lunch, something casual, because she doesn't need you to take her to the cash bar, right? She knows that, hey, listen, I like you. You know, something about you I like. So you don't even have to be an expensive restaurant. Something you could afford. You don't give a shit. You was gonna go there anyway. So you sit down with the honey. She sits down with you, and y'all begin to talk. And then you, like an asshole that you are, you start talking about your ex-girlfriend. You start talking about some stupid shit, like you start talking about how much you love your mother. You start talking about stupid red pill scenarios that you might have heard on fucking whatchamacallit. You know, instead of just asking her, you know, hey, listen, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, tell me something, anything about yourself. Or some bullshit like, do you like movies? Do you like to read? You know, do you like, just something that's so kind of like, hey, I'm trying to find out what we have in common. So, oh, yeah, I like to work out. Oh, yeah, I like to work out. Bet, maybe that's something we could do on a date, or find out what schedule, unless you like to work out alone, that's cool. But, if there's a gym you can go to, or a gym that you might know of, here's where I go, whatever the hell the conversation could be. But if you start sit down and say, well, here's my past traumas, this is where I went wrong, and, my mother is a little overbearing, and, my last girlfriend, she did this, you know what, man, she is actually taking a fucking needle, and she's giving her pussy stitches. She's sewing the needle, and she's closing that shit up to you. Because you're blowing it. Here's what I suggest to most men. When a woman likes you and all that kind of stuff, and you might be ready to get some ass, that's when you're supposed to develop the mumbles. Or the yeah, sounds good. You try to say as little as possible. And if you start kissing her, and you start to do the heavy petting, and you get into a foreplay, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Shut your fucking mouth and just work. Do you hear what I'm saying? Don't think you're going to say something to turn her on, like, man, you're so pretty, or I feel, oh man, I'm feeling you, baby, right now, or but just shut the fuck up and just keep moving till her clothes are off, till she's naked on the bed and she's panting and she's ready for love. Do you hear what I'm trying to tell you? Don't say shit, right? And just let it fucking happen. And for you fellas out there, if you don't know it, you slide on a condom. Slide the motherfucker on, man. You know what? I know she might panty. I want it raw, baby. She might say, I want it raw. Do it to me raw, baby. And say, nah, listen, honey, this is for the both of us. You slide the condom on. And if she stops you and says, if you put that on, you ain't getting no ass. Now, we're into a whole different conversation. So I'm going to throw that aside. Let's just say she's not going to say that. You bang her out. You do everything you can. The condom helps you, too. If you don't have the ultimate control, at least the condom gives you an opportunity to control it till she gets off first. I'm just trying to tell you, I'm an old motherfucker. I ain't the most select. I'm not a select guy. But half the women out there know exactly what I just said is true. You guys might say, what the fuck you know about it? You've been married. I seduce my wife still. So anyway, all I'm just trying to tell you guys is shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But let's get back to it. The truth of the matter is, Women control the sexual marketplace. The problem in America is that the women are so promiscuous. They're so fucking promiscuous that even the 60%er can get some ass. Not just the top 10%, not just the top 20%. 60% of men are getting pussy. 60 to 70% of men are getting more pussy than usual because the women are fucking whores because of feminism and everything else. And that's why our society is all fucked up. Birth rates are down. Marriages are down. Trustworthiness is down. Women cheating is way, way, way up. Way up. So what I'm saying is the point is not to bash women. The point is that the women are in control. When the women are less promiscuous, only the top tier men are getting ass. The other men have to make commitments. Right? The less promiscuous women are, the more men have to be committed to get laid. Am I right or am I wrong? Just think about it for a second. The more women are, the less women are promiscuous, the more men have to be committed to them in order to get laid. And then in extreme places where women aren't promiscuous at all, marriage rates go up. Family rates go up. Because in order for you to lay down with that woman, you have to marry her. You have to be in a marriage relationship. That's just, the marriage isn't controlled by women, but the force to marriage is influenced by how promiscuous women are in a given society. And in the United States and in the West, there's no holds barred. Women don't believe in anything that restricts them. Nothing. They don't believe in religion. That doesn't restrict them from sucking somebody's dick. Their fathers, that doesn't stop them from fucking somebody. Right? Social mores, shame, babies out of wedlock. Nothing stops women from doing what the fuck they want. Nothing. No conscience. It's like no consequence for their actions that they want to take accountability for. And so the sexual marketplace is in complete chaos. And it's not because of men and dick discipline. That's just bullshit. Because dick discipline is not a collective. It's not a collective. Every single man develops dick discipline at his own rate and in his own time. Because of what he recognizes he has to lose. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's none of this other bullshit that all these fucking guys come in talking dick discipline, blah, blah, blah. You ask every man on a panel, when did you develop the discernment not to fuck woman A because of what? And for every man, it'll be a different age, a different scenario, or whatever it is. I had a saying on Black Man's Unfiltered channel when I first started that one of the toughest things a man had to do was turn down some steaming hot ready pussy. And it's been true. I didn't make that shit up. It's true. And if you read the Bible and if you read any real non-fiction stories, or if you just look at real life, most men who destroy themselves, they destroy themselves over some fucking woman, some fucking box, right? Giving up presidencies, giving up multi-million-dollar contracts, giving up half of their assets, giving up every fucking thing for some pussy. Having their friends killed, having their soldiers murdered, coveting a man's wife. That was King David. Bathsheba used to bathe in clear sight of his room so he could see her. And he saw her and he coveted her and he had her husband killed. in war. And he put him, a general, on the front line and told everybody to let him get killed out there so he can covet my man's wife. So all I'm just trying to say is, Eve is seduced by the serpent. I could make that into a sexual thing, I could if I want to. But she got seduced by the serpent. And Adam destroyed the fucking world. He had everything. He had dominion over everything as a man. He had dominion over everything. And the very first time he had a test, because a woman tested him with her bullshit, he failed. He failed. And men have been blighted for the rest of eternity to have the number one predator against us is a woman. The number one detractor of our duties is a woman. And so in order for us to have her now, the number one thing we have to do is give our lives to women in marriage, right? And when I say give our lives, I'm not just talking about, dying for them. I'm saying if you want to be in a good marriage, you have to find a woman that's trustworthy of your devotion. And it's not easy. Today, it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. Because these women want to be men. They want to have careers and all this shit, but that's not how society works. One of us has to be the nurturer of the children. The primary. And if you want to be a CEO as a woman, you're not going to be the primary nurturer. So why should I marry you? So it's just so much to this. It's just so much to it. And what I'm trying to say is, we could have some ladies up, and we could dispute it back and forth. This is my theory. And that's why in the cheating market, it's not the same. Women starting to say, because the women think they're men, I can't forgive him for cheating. Well, that's really bullshit. If you got a good man, he has all these things, and if he cheats on you, you're not leaving. You're not leaving right away. And if you do, you didn't really love that guy and what he gave you in the first place. You think you're equally yoked. That's why you could leave. But most women still don't leave. And the only reason why men don't leave when their wife cheats is because economically, if he's not set, he knows it's going to destroy him economically, and he'll lose access to his kids. Maybe he'd have to. I think he should research that. But the marriage between him and his wife is over. There's really no coming back from that for a woman. And any man who accepts his wife back after she's sucking a man's dick, drinking his sperm, and all that other kind of shit, he's no man no more. He's no man no more. He might think he is. He might be able to fight. He might be able to kick somebody's ass. But he lost the one fight that really matters. His wife lost respect for him. And if somebody else was plowing the field, she's sucking his dick, she's feeling all euphoric and submissive to another man, and then she comes back to your lame ass and asks for forgiveness. And then when you talk to her, you go to therapy, somehow she blames the shit on you. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? You can't accept her back. You might not leave her, but you can't accept her back. And the reason why you don't leave her is because if your kids are really young, you know that you're going to lose your children, because in court, they're going to give it to this cheating bitch. Right? Especially if you make more money than her. So the point really is, the bottom line is, it's another way that they control the marketplace from their box. from the box to the judge's gavel, to the box, from the box to your children, from the box to your child support payment. Everything women do is ruled by their box. Everything they do. All the deferment that we make is ruled by the fact that they're women. Every fucking excuse that can be made in the world is because you can't say anything because they're women. Men have abdicated their responsibility, their natural position in this world because of women. And that the devil exactly is where the devil wants it to be. And that's why, even so, that's why we demonize people in Saudi Arabia or people where the women, quote unquote, don't have any rights. Well, the men are protecting their rights too much. Maybe I can grant you that. But they understand when your community and your culture gets upside down, when women rule, the world's over. You could just listen to the hyenas, the liberal hyenas on the Democratic side. Do you really want them fucking chicks running the country? Every time I see the police department, I see a woman come up as a chief and all these big fucking men standing behind her. I say, how did that happen? How the fuck does this fucking woman be in charge of all of these men? How does that happen? 1% of the police force might be women. 2%. And all of a sudden, she's the fucking chief? That mean out of all of these men, nobody was better than a 1%er? The fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that women can't have some high positions, but let's make some sense of this shit. Just make some sense of it. So I'm just trying to tell you, listen, the one thing that women don't want to take responsibility or accountability for is the chaos in the sexual marketplace. So when we talk about sex, women actually sit down here and say, well, he tricked me. It's just bullshit, man. He didn't trick you out of nothing. He didn't trick you out of nothing. I want you to tell me the truth. Yeah, but a man tells you the truth, and then you say, well, instead of telling you the truth, you say, listen, I want you to tell me, I want to be able to decide whether I want to give you some ass or not. Right? And a man who might be a 60%er, his only opportunity is of getting some ass is to tell you what you want to hear. Is he at fault or are you at fault? Because if you need somebody to whisper sweet nothings in your ear to give you plausible deniability of giving up the box, I think you're at fault. Because if you don't really want to give up the box unless somebody talks you into it, you know what you should do? You shouldn't give up the box. You shouldn't. If you need to be feeling good, you need to hear some shit in your ear, you need to hear all this shit, then you shouldn't be fucking. Because it should come naturally. If you fuck a guy, you should be fucking him because you don't care what he has to say. You just want to get your shit off. Or you believe him. Or you discern whether this guy is sincere or not by the challenges you put him through. And not just stupid challenges, by making him wait. By making yourself wait to see if you can find cracks in his armor. To meet his parents, to talk to his father, to talk to his mother, to see if he has any skeletons in his closet that you can easily find. Or is he a closet gay man? Is he this? Is he that? And all you do your vetting, right? You vet the dude before you give him some ass. That's what you should do. But if you're waiting for him to say sweet nothings to you and talk, a man is going to do that if it means he can get laid. Most men are going to do that. They might not lie to you. He might even be telling you the truth. He said, listen, I'm not here for a long time. I like you. You're pretty. You turn me on. I turn you on. We like having fun with each other. I want to bang you out. He won't say it like that, but it's essentially what he's saying. And the point really is do you want to have sex with this guy? And understand what it is. It's just sex. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? It's just sex. So you're going to either accept that or you're not. So I don't know. Listen, I just say again, the sexual marketplace is run by women. It's run by women, and men just play in it. That's all we have. We play in it, and the level of men, the amount of promiscuity in the sexual marketplace is so high that the 60 or 70% man can get laid. He can't get laid like the 10% man or the 20% man, but there's so much woman, so much you box available, even the 70%ers. So the incels in this sexual marketplace is very low. It's a lot lower than usual because even incels are finding a way to get boxed, and then they're no longer incels. Right? Remember that was a big thing, and it's not as a big thing anymore because so many men are getting laid. Now they're just deciding, I'm gonna save up my money. I'm gonna just pay for it, one way or the other. I'm gonna pay for the box. So that's what they're doing. So here's the thing. Again, I'm just gonna recap. When the promiscuity level of women goes down, right, and only the top tier men are getting laid, that means the other tier men from the 25 to the 60, 70% have to make more commitments, have to cultivate relationships, have to do something to get laid because the women are not giving them the boxes freely as in a fully promiscuous society. When the promiscuity level is at its lowest, the marriage rates will go up because the women are going to require real commitment in order to get married, in order to get boxed, whether it be engagement and marriage. They're gonna require that in order for you to have access to them. And then men will acquiesce to that. And if they're not finessing you and you're not finessing them, that's how we could regain marriages in our society, right? That, let's assume that the laws start to change as well, because that's what really keeps men away from marriage. The laws. Men in the West already know that they're going to marry a woman who might have been a hoe, but we know that she's sucked a few dicks in her life. We know that. Right? So the point really is that doesn't stop men from marrying women. Really, the most thing that stops men from marrying women is the laws that we're subjected to. Right? So, but if the women are less promiscuous, the marriage rates will skyrocket. That's a guarantee. Well, anyway, this is just my invisible rant. I might just use this as content, whether people listen to it or not, that's fine. Our pain. Marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.